All right, so look, man, we about to hop into the most wanted man in the U.S. I'm not sure if he been caught yet or if he's still out there lingering. I don't know what he did. We about to hop straight into it, man. Just make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you like this video. And if you want to see more content like this, let me know some things you want to see me react to in the comments. But other than that, let's get into it.
This is the most wanted man in the world. He's been charged with espionage, hunted by the government since 2013, and
What is espionage?
now he's been given Russian citizenship by Putin himself. This is the US government's public enemy number one. Welcome to Explained. On June 6, 2013, a series of reports by The Guardian and The Washington Post rocked the world. Top secret documents detailing the NSA, aka the National Security Agency's activities, were leaked by an unidentified source. And Americans found out the US government was spying on them. 3 days later, this man came forward, Edward Snowden, a 29-year-old high school dropout whose computer abilities had landed him jobs with the CIA and with an NSA contractor.
I've been.
Hey, how you get a job with the CIA as a dropout, though? That's how you know, boys. Hey, I'm too smart for high school. I'm getting out of here. Forget it.
And a systems engineer, systems administrator, senior advisor for the Central Intelligence Agency, solutions consultant, and a telecommunications information systems officer.
But in his short time with the NSA, he discovered it had dangerously overreached itself.
When you're in positions of privileged access, like a systems administrator for these sort of intelligence community agencies, you're exposed to a lot more information on a broader scale than the average employee. And because of that, you see things that may be disturbing, but over the course of a normal person's career, you'd only see one or two of these instances. When you see everything, you see them on a more frequent basis. And you recognize that some of these things are actually abuses. And when you talk to people about them, in a place like this where this is the normal state of business.
So it did say he came out. Did he just come out and be like, yeah, I gave away all the secrets? Like,
People tend not to take them very seriously and move on from them. But over time, that awareness of wrongdoing sort of builds up and you feel compelled to talk about it.
Consider that New Year's resolutions are not the answer for you this year. You need real solutions, and
The materials Snowden came across exposed an almost limitless government-run surveillance program. Since then, he is wanted for one of the most significant national security leaks in US history. But what exactly was in those documents? For starters, it revealed the NSA had a secret program called PRISM, a system that gave the government a backdoor to access private user data from companies like Google, Apple, and Facebook.
whoa.
It also had a secret court order that allowed it to collect telephone records from millions of Verizon customers. This included not only criminals, but law-abiding citizens as well. Then, there was an 18-page presidential memo showing Obama ordering intelligence officials to come up with a list of overseas targets for cyber attacks. And all of this was just the tip of the iceberg. The NSA was hacking computers in Hong Kong and mainland China, a few of which were military systems. It also tapped the mobile phone of Germany's chancellor at the time, Angela Merkel. It even showed that Britain's Government Communications Headquarters, or GCHQ, was conducting mass surveillance of its citizens. Not to mention, both the NSA and the GCHQ had discussed methods of deception, the use of propaganda, mass messaging, and stories on social media to influence people the way they wanted. The list was endless. In fact, national intelligence officials believe Snowden had downloaded nearly 2 million files. Before we go further, hit that like button and subscribe to Explained.
No, before we go further, what was the purpose of him stealing all this information? I understand it's probably shocking, because it's shocking to me, the fact that that all of this, like, make me want to throw the iPhone away. Throw the whole iPhone away, man. Listen. But I'm not understanding the story behind why he did that, though.
But how did he sneak out sensitive documents from a top-secret government facility? Well, he didn't use any sophisticated hacking software or devices. Believe it or not, all he used was thumb drives. But that doesn't mean it was easy. Snowden had to plan the leak and his escape carefully. He had 3 things working in his favor. Number 1 was his location. Snowden was contracted to the NSA by a company called Booz Allen Hamilton. He was based in Hawaii, 5,000 miles away from the prying eyes of everyone at the NSA's headquarters in Maryland. He was also 6 hours behind them. So while most people had left the office for the day in Fort Meade, Snowden's workday was barely halfway through. Number 2 was the thin client system. Snowden had access to the NSA headquarters servers via a computer system called Thin Client. It basically gives users access to specific types of files based on their profile. But the setup was outdated, and Snowden was no ordinary user. He was a systems administrator. So unlike other NSA users who had restrictions on the classified information they could access, Snowden's high security clearance gave him more privileges. At his level, he was the auditor. He could pose as any other user, access the NSA's intranet without leaving a digital signature, and literally function like a ghost user if he wanted to. And so, Snowden's job profile was factored.
That's why you can't hire the person that dropped out. They don't know what the... I'm back on that, bro. He dropped out, man. You should have had no job with them boys. Your mind ain't right.
Number 3. As a systems administrator and analyst, he had the authority to use thumb drives. He could literally copy information from one computer to another without raising any suspicions. After working for just 4 weeks with the NSA in Hawaii, Snowden decided it was time for the world to know what they'd been doing. But he knew no one would believe him without any proof. So he downloaded the documents without raising suspicion and cleverly snuck the thumb drives past security. The next day, he asked for a leave of absence without pay, and then extended it by saying he was suffering from epilepsy. But when he stopped answering calls and didn't return, the authorities suspected something was wrong, and the NSA began looking for him. By then, Snowden had made his way from Hawaii to the safety of Hong Kong. He met 2 trusted journalists, Glenn Greenwald and Laura Poitras, and gave them the story that would change the way people looked at the government forever.
Yeah, but why though? Like, I understand you want to break this story. You probably sold it for a lot of money and all of that stuff. But to be on a run from the U.S. forever, was it worth it?
Snowden's leak sparked debates about the NSA's secret powers all over the world.
I called for a thorough review of our surveillance operations.
He was charged with theft of government property, unauthorized communication of national defense information, and willful communication of classified intelligence to an unauthorized person.
These CEOs started with nothing. But they didn't just climb the ladder. They built their own.
And despite the US's efforts to extradite him from Hong Kong, Snowden managed to get on a plane to Russia. Initially, he was granted
And he moving to like our biggest ops though. Hey yo.
asylum after Putin said that Russia had no extradition agreement with the US. But he did say Snowden was wrong to reveal US secrets.
Что касается возможной выдачи куда бы то ни было, то мы можем выдавать каких-то граждан иностранных государств только в государства, с которыми у нас есть соответствующие международные соглашения о выдаче преступников. С Соединенными Штатами у нас такого соглашения нет на территории.
Snowden tried to seek asylum in other countries too, with no success.
I applied for asylum in 21 different countries, all throughout Western Europe and other parts of the world. And all of them tried to avoid giving an answer because they didn't want to say one way or another, or alienate the United States government by taking a public side against them.
He was also willing to come back to the US under the right circumstances.
I've made it clear that I'm always willing to return home. I would return home tomorrow as long as the government was prepared to be reasonable and protect the interests of our rights in society.
How would you describe the government's reasonableness in this case? What would you be looking to from them for you to return?
Well, so far they've said they won't torture me, which is a start, I think. But we haven't gotten much further than that.
But it's something you're actively, or you and your lawyers are actively discussing with the government, I assume.
We're still waiting for them to call us back.
Eventually, he was granted permanent residency in Russia in 2020. And in September 2022, Putin gave him Russian citizenship.
Right before we were coming on the air, Edward Snowden, we found out, is now a Russian citizen. President Vladimir Putin signing a decree.
Over the years, Snowden has done several interviews to explain how our phones spy on us and how they can be tapped.
Nosy Smurf. What's Nosy Smurf?
Nosy Smurf is the hot miking tool. So for example, if it's in your pocket, they can turn the microphone on and listen to everything that's going on around you.
Some people look at Snowden as a traitor, but millions believe he's a hero for risking his life and exposing the US, UK, and its allies' unwarranted mass surveillance schemes. What's your take on Snowden's leaked documents? Did he save democracy and make things more transparent? Or should he have just quit and not leaked anything? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Explained.
Sorry, I don't know who your name is.
Oh, sorry. My name is...
They listening to our conversations. They could turn on the mic and... Yeah, no wonder why all the high-profile cases, you just go to jail. If they really want you, they got you, no matter what. If you could just turn the mic on and hear what I'm talking about on a daily basis, I'm done. I'm done. Like that. What? I don't. Yo. What would y'all have did in that situation? If y'all have found out everything that they was doing behind the scenes, would y'all have did what he did and expose it? Because people like me still didn't even know until just now. But would y'all have exposed it? Or would y'all have like, I mean, what do? You can't just not have a phone. They had secret surveillance and everything from like, so you can't just not go outside. Whatever they want to know, they gonna know it regardless. But that's wild. I actually didn't know that. Kind of wish I still didn't know that. Not that I want to be in the dark or naive about everything that's going on. But yeah, that right there is just mind-blowing to me. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. They also mentioned it was not only from the U.S., it was also in the U.K. that ally of the USA. I don't know, man. That was a little deep. I got to look into it a little bit further. This was a year ago that they posted this, so I do want to see if I can get some new or more up-to-date information. So be on the lookout for that. Just make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you like this video. GoHamm TV.